2 X's is good, 1 X, not so good. No X's. Couldn't even imagine. Hey guys, it's Amanda. If you're new here, I'm an American living in the UK, and I post about my life and experiences living here, as well as these weekly reactions requested by all of you. Now today, I'm going to watch the top 10 things that British people don't think are weird. Now, what do you think will be on the list? What are some weird things that Brits do? Let me know in the comments.
Who knew? Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things British people don't realise are weird. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're taking a look at British customs and items that we take as a given, but are actually a little bit strange. Number 10. Barrister Wiggs.
In light of the evidence, Mr. Tilsley's admission and taking your mitigation into account, I am now persuaded that you were not the instigator or ringleader in the crime committed against your
and anonymity, while also creating an imposing image to hammer home the supremacy of the law. Ironically, in the years prior to the introduction of the wig, barristers were expected to keep their hair short, for a lot of the same reasons. Though these eye-catching headpieces are used elsewhere in the Commonwealth, their ties to Britain and British history feel. Number 9. Wash.
Yes, I will admit, they do look a bit odd. And I was surprised to know that barristers still wear them to this day. I generally thought it was like from the past when I saw it. But it's tradition, isn't it? So keep it going.
Washing machines in the kitchen.
Well, we did tell them to express themselves.
While increasingly not uncommon in most major cities, due to the lack of space in most modern flats, coming across a washing machine in a kitchen continues to baffle non-Brits, and in particular, the Americans. Whereas our cousins from across the pond prefer to devote their entire rooms or closets to their washers and dryers, we decided long ago that the best place for them was clearly somewhere between the dustbin and the kitchen sink. And there they've stayed.
Why would you do that? Why? Come on! Why?
As such, it's easy to forget that all across the world there are families folding their clothes in the comfort of a laundry room, flummoxed by us doing laundry within arm's reach of the toaster.
Get the hell out of my kitchen!
Number 8. Our scent.
Yes, this one I thought was weird as well. Until I learned that the plumbing and all the bits for it is usually in the kitchen, so it made sense to have them there. Plus, space. Obviously, can be an issue. There isn't always a lot of space to have a whole entire room dedicated to it.
Of humour.
I have a terrific sense of humour. It's just very dry. Often mistaken for having no sense of humour at all.
Satire, irony, self-deprecation, deadpan delivery, and a desire, nay, a need, to avoid sincerity at all costs. These are the things that make British humour unique. Perhaps Ricky Gervais summed it up best when he said that Brits mercilessly take the piss out of people we like or dislike. To some, this can come off as rude or nasty, but Brits know that deep down, it's all in good fun.
You've got all the charm of a rotting teddy bear by a graveside.
British humour is about being able to make fun of yourself, something that flies directly in the face of big brash US comedy. A good way to tell if you've just been run over by a solid British joke is if you find yourself asking, were they joking or not?
How come you've only got one eyebrow?
The dog chewed it off last year.
Number 7. Calling pulp juicy bits.
Yes. No. Let's go crazy. I'll have an orange juice.
This one should be obvious, but apparently it isn't. Orange juice comes with juicy bits or no bits, right? But those bits are pulp across the Atlantic, a decidedly less off-putting word.
Juicy.
While the American option is likely more universal, It's not like our version is any less an accurate description, and it pays great homage to those other great British linguistic traits, not saying exactly what we mean and turning even everyday things into a mild euphemism.
Coffee? No. Orange juice? Probably not.
Number 6, spotted dick, and other food-based innuendos.
Spotted dick, sir? What? Spotted dick.
The ever-popular spotted dick is a traditional pudding that's really quite tasty, but those who didn't grow up with this served after dinner tend to only snigger at its name before declining it in favour of a less risque cheesecake. Such a staple is spotted dick, though, that there are still multiple canned varieties available if you're in need of a quick fix. And if nudge nudge wink wink food is really all you're after, then why not have Scotch woodcock for breakfast and toad in the hole for your main?
I can't really say my grandmother used to make a sausage in the hole, my grandfather used to make sausage in the hole.
For a non-Brit looking in, our menus both boggle the mind and tempt the taste buds.
This is good. I thought the food here was supposed to suck.
Number 5, having multiple taps.
I have to admit, I've still never had spotted dick before. So I'm gonna have to give it a try. Honestly, there are so many words. The Brits are like kings and queens of it. Brilliant. I love it.
How and why this is still a thing is pretty baffling in itself. Across the world, other humans have evolved to the point where they're no longer required to either burn or freeze their hands off when they go to the loo. And yet, in these parts, having 2 separate taps for hot and cold water remains the norm. Still, seeing someone who's not accustomed to the setup try and fail to wash their hands without minor injury is kind of funny. Maybe that's why we refuse to change. Number 4, affectionate texts.
You doing it?
Yes.
Have you done it?
Yet, hang on.
Too often have we been labelled as cold and unaffectionate. For too long has the world believed us to be an emotionless folk. And how do we prove that we like, or at least tolerate, other people? By signing off texts, tweets, and most other messages with a single lowercase x.
Don't bother trying to explain because your bit on the side has done it for you!
For those not in the know, it represents a kiss. For the Brits scratching their heads right about now, this small gesture actually isn't standard everywhere else. And since the invention of emojis, it's become a cute callback to a bygone age. As to the matter of how many kisses you should or shouldn't put, no one really knows for sure.
Don't think I'm changing the subject, but I found a bus ticket.
Number 3, not tipping.
Luckily, I just bought one.
I believe with the X's, it is 2 X's. Because 1 X means, I'm not really that happy with you, but I'm still going to put an X anyway. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I take it. 2 X's is good, 1 X, not so good. No X's. Couldn't even imagine. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Taxi fare.
This one always throws tourists for a loop. While it's common in North America for patrons to tip their waiters, waitresses, and bar staff, it's simply not a thing round this way, or across most of Europe in fact. And maybe this entry, more than any other on this list, is one that we wind up stumbling over too, because our natural inclination not to tip can get us into trouble on our holidays, all while supposedly confirming the assumption that we're a rude and uncaring bunch. It's not that we don't like you, it's just that we don't tip.
Alright, since you pay for the breakfast, I'll put in, but normally I would never do this.
Number 2, brown sauce. Nothing screams delicious like brown sauce, but incredibly, only in the UK.
But it didn't prepare me for this sensation.
A traditional condiment with a standout flavour, it does the job for cooked breakfasts, bacon rolls, anything with chips, but the rest of the world simply hasn't caught on. Sure, you can get steak sauce elsewhere, and apparently endless variations of barbecue sauce, but the humble brown is by contrast a rare and unusual delicacy.
Andy must never eat a bacon sandwich without the big, bold flavour of HP sauce.
For non-Brits, even the experience of asking for it at a restaurant confounds. It's brown, it's sauce, it's brown sauce. Easy. Number 1, oddly specific regional accents.
What did you think, love?
Oh, John, I thought it was just great.
The United States is the 4th largest country by area on Earth, while the whole of the United Kingdom ranks as only the 78th largest. How then can Britain have so many distinctive accents?
No, it's not. Peterson told me. No, it's not. Peterson told me.
It's something to endlessly baffle Americans and the rest of the world who can't seem to wrap their heads around the idea that people who live just down the road from each other have a completely different way of speaking.
Is that how you treated people up in London? No wonder you're down here with your tail between your legs.
If you go by Hollywood movies alone, then we all fall into one of two camps: ardent Cockney or softly spoken Queen's English. In the real world though, that's very far from the case. Do you agree with our picks?
To be honest, I don't really think some of those are weird, like brown sauce. Is that weird? Regional accents? That's not really weird either. I mean, I personally find that fascinating. I absolutely love that you can travel a few miles one way or the other way in some places and have completely different accents. I do. I genuinely love it. But some of the other ones, yes, I do agree. But differences are what make this world such a wonderful place to live. And our differences is what makes life so much fun. What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you add anything to their list? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button if that's what you're into, and I'll see you in the next video.